Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.
Production.
7 Mile Radio.
What up? What up? What up? It's Truth Podcast. It's Wednesday night. We out here on hump day. I hope you humping on something tonight. If you not, wait till the weekend. It's gonna get better.
Yes, it is.
What's up, everybody?
What up, what up, what
What's
up?
up?
We in the building. We in the studio with none other than Mr. Mark DeAndre, our master engineer. Somebody needs to turn their volume down so we don't have the reverb. Yeah, so it's been an awesome week. Like, I've had a lot of things happen this week. Guess what? I had somebody turn.
Yeah.
I'm telling people to turn the volume down. This is my bad. My bad. I'm trying, because I ain't expecting to count us down that fast. I just logged off my pregame.
Right.
It's me. It's me. I take accountability. It is what it is. My bad. I've had an awesome week, though. I did run into my car, like, y'all remember, what was it, Monday?
I seen that picture.
Poured down?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay the water bill and shit. I met the water bill people. I get in there fine. I come out. It's pouring down rain. So I'm running to the car. Hurry up, open up the motherfucking car door.
And fucked yourself up.
And it hit my leg. I'm trying to run and open the door at the same time. And
Safe
Got to be a
No, I
little
was
careful.
out.
was
like
out.
a motherfucker.
at the plate.
Yeah.
I know the
Her
other
knee
people
went
in the parking lot looked at me like, damn.
Her leg
Because
was
I
ugly.
doubled over like, oh.
Is
And
it
then
still
got in
ugly?
the car and sat there for a few more minutes.
Because
like,
I
pulled
had
up.
to read it. You said I got into an accident with my car, and I'm like, is these
Damn.
okay? But
No,
then
I said
seen,
first I said I got into a car accident. I said I ran
Yeah.
into my car door with my leg.
Yeah,
But
and
see,
I
a
don't,
lot of people didn't read the
Read the
second
whole thing,
sentence.
yeah.
They're
I
like,
didn't-
I hope you're okay.
because I'm looking.
No, I'm
Call
not.
Mike Morris.
My
I'm
sister-
like, for what?
she
Sue
did.
yourself and shit.
Yeah. She's like,
Who the fuck I
Because I see Donovan driving on, he was, the next, I was like, wait a minute, she got into an accident with Donovan driving.
No, so it was just me and my hurriedness.
Gotcha.
And caught myself with the edge of my door. That shit
Damn.
swelled up and turned purple so fast, bro.
It was ugly.
This yellow people problems, though. Y'all, some of y'all ain't got them
Wow.
yellow people problems. Y'all bruises probably don't show like ours
Mine
do.
do.
But anyway, other than that, I had a wonderful week. How's your week been, Mr. David?
It's been all right, but I realized I'm getting old and cranky.
Oh.
So number one, is it me or is like every Popeyes messed up in the city of Detroit? Like every
It's not you.
I was
No.
I was trying to get a piece of chicken, and I pull up, and I swear every Popeyes I go to says
They out of chicken.
no, not pay chicken. The where you put your order,
The machine don't work?
the machine don't work. I gotta do my order at the window, but there's 82 cars in line. That's number one. Number two,
They got roaches. I saw a
I-
video earlier. They got
I don't
roaches.
like going to the gas station no more. I hate going to the gas station.
Okay.
Because every time I go to the gas station, do you have $1? Do you have spare change?
Yeah, you
Look,
getting
I got
old,
this
bro.
last 20 to put
No.
before payday.
Damn.
You getting old.
So I might have to add, you know what, the show that I'm planning,
You
it's
getting
like
old,
this.
It's not
man.
this
I'm getting old.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
you
never
hate
getting
this
bad.
shit?
You don't want to go
It's
home.
not
You
this
don't want to go to
year.
the liquor store. You don't want to go to
This
church.
what I hate
Yeah.
when you go to the liquor store.
Yeah.
They laying on the ground asking you for money. I told this one dude, I said, bro, at least stand the fuck up. Look
Yeah.
me in my eye
Yeah.
before you ask me for something. You laying down here like you just chilling.
Yeah.
And everybody's supposed to celebrate your laziness.
I know.
I said, stand up, look me in my eye. And he stood up, and mind you, he was capable and able.
Yes.
You mean to tell me you laying in front of a gas station and you want me to just give you something?
Yeah.
Nigga, you chilling. This your life. This what you do.
I told him to open the door for me. You didn't even hold the door open for me.
At least something to
Okay,
be
no,
like,
man.
let me pump your gas.
Offer
Something.
to
Yeah.
pump
In
my
Vegas,
gas.
they creative as hell. Vegas, they'll say,
They'll wipe your windshield.
Yeah.
they'll be like, look, I'm about to spend this money on weed and liquor, but at least I'm telling you the truth. I'll be like, damn, at least
Yeah.
he was truthful.
They
You
do.
know, I might not give you 10. Let me give you 5.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't consider that cranky though, Dave. What I
Okay.
consider that is just like you thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not just falling for the okie doke.
But
That's not cranky.
But let
You
me
know what I'm
ask y'all
saying?
this real quick. Am I terrible for if I do give change or money to the homeless, I only give it to a black person?
Yes.
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 You are terrible.
You
Yes,
terrible,
that's
bro.
terrible.
But
You
I
are
think
so
Homeless
prejudiced.
don't
bro.
have a color.
I'm about to tell you why though, because I feel
Them be the main
everybody
ones
will
that
give
ain't
to the white
homeless.
people, but I feel the white people will not give to the black. So I
No.
feel like I gotta offset it.
You don't have to offset it because
I-
let me tell you, half them motherfuckers that's standing out there, like it's this guy that be on 8 Mile Greenfield all the time. I swear to God, he wave
Yeah,
at
the
you
one
and
in
everything.
The one he sit in the
No,
chair.
he sit in the chair and wave at you.
Oh,
This
that's
nigga
my
be
man. I give him
well-dressed.
$1 every
No,
time.
he be well dressed like a
got a whole
motherfucker. I'm like, this is
motherfucker.
your
Right.
He
second.
be like, "What up, Doc? What up, player?"
But for
I know
him,
you
it's
talking
his
about.
second motherfucking job, right?
Yes.
It's not that you really you
Yes.
may need it, but there's another second job that you can get.
You know why it's his second job?
Because you don't sleep there. Because I drive by there multiple times of day and night.
Yeah.
You gotta
and
see
I
the
don't
tent.
see you sleeping there.
Yeah.
Now he ain't in the tent. He gets dropped off there.
On
he gets
Woodward.
picked
and
up
sit in
from
an
there.
office chair. That's why I said D
Yeah,
Mac.
and
It
he
might
just
be
be
his second
waving.
job because he is sitting in the
I brought
office
him
chair.
food
And the
one
one
time.
in Woodward. And the one that sit there up there by Myers.
So what I don't do is
Yeah.
give money anymore.
Yeah.
I go buy food.
Or the guy at
and
96
something
in
to drink.
Greenfield.
And if you don't want that, then I know what you want.
Yeah.
I'm not about to support your grown ass, fucked up ass.
But you know why I've been saving some of my spare change for when I go to Eastern Market? If you walk through there, there's people that gonna hustle. I seen somebody playing a tuba. Do you know how hard it is to play a tuba in 90-degree weather
Yeah.
to slow motion? That's
still
hard as
don't
hell to
mean
blow out
nothing.
too.
That still don't mean nothing. People got gimmicks, got manipulative tactics. Like, let me go out here and bring my kids out here and play the drums on the corner, and
guess
they're
what?
gonna
It's
feel
not-
sorry
it's
for
not
me because
hard
I
for
got my
somebody who
kids
probably
out
grew
here.
up
They got the
playing
kids
tuba.
out.
But
Exactly.
let's
Something
not
they
make
did
this
all
the
time.
topic. But Mike, how's
Oh,
your
got
week
you. We
been, my
we
boy?
getting off my back.
My
We gonna
week-
say that for another
My
topic.
week been good, and I'm gonna leave it at that because y'all funny. My week been good though. Glad to be.
Tat, what's up? How's your week?
What's the deal? My week has been blessed. I'm just trying to keep it moving. Every day above ground is awesome to me. At least I try to make it that way. Shit happens.
Y'all see how Tat toe up her shirt to make
Oh.
it feminine? Mike, you see it?
Put it up. We not at D-Mac
Mike,
Barber
so
School.
we all got on
I
our.
see. I told her put it up.
Why
We
is
not
he-
at the barber school.
We all got
Is
our
that the
True
topic of the day?
Podcast
Put it up.
t-shirts
It's
on.
not.
And she cut hers up
That's
with the whole
crazy.
shoulders out. They got the little peekaboos and glitter and
You know,
shit.
tack on sexy it up.
It got to.
Over
Yes.
there looking like Jaleesa Vincent from Different World, the second season. All right.
You said Jalisa. Damn.
Dave, he ain't gonna have no repeat.
Right, you ain't getting us in trouble.
Mark.
How's your week been, my boy?
Oh man, you know me, same old shit, different toy. Another day in
Sound
Gotham.
effect.
Another day in Gotham. Saving the kids, reporting the crime, man. Ended up on stage with Breadman and Method Man over the weekend. at
Tell
the
them how you
concert.
got back there, Mark.
Yeah,
Explain.
I printed my own media pass, man, and because people knew me and they let me backstage, and then I ended up on the fucking stage, recorded the whole concert. The dude, the actual cameraman from Shane Park, looking at me like, "Who is you?" I'm like, "Nigga, I'm me." That's who the hell I am.
That is so hood and genius at the same time. I can't even knock it.
Smoke.
Okay.
Sure, I'll show you the video. Yeah, I was smoking weed and videoing the whole shit, performing Old Dirty. I think I was Old Dirty Bastard when they started playing this music. I mean, I couldn't contain myself.
I think with that kind of concert, if you wasn't smoking weed, they would have looked at you weird. I mean,
Yep.
it was two guys that made a movie called How High. I mean, if you wasn't,
I got something to say. I forgot real quick, y'all.
go ahead.
I just want to give a shout out. I don't know if you guys watched this show on Tubi called The Dirty D.
Yes.
Anybody watch that? Okay,
Yes.
you guys know Brick?
Yes.
So I got a chance to meet Brick Monday night.
Okay.
I was hanging out. He was in there smoking hookah. So I just want to shout out to Dirty D. I want to shout out Brick. If you don't watch it, you need to watch it. They just moved to Peacock for their third season.
Okay.
So, you know, just
Oh
want to
shit,
shout
they
them out.
moving on.
Yeah,
Okay.
moving on
Moving on
up.
up.
Moving on up. And he's a really cool guy. So
They better,
Hey,
they better
Brick.
give you a cameo for shouting it out.
I want to shout out. I don't give shout
Yeah,
outs
picture
for
with it.
real.
There
But
we go.
I do want to shout out this dispensary, westcoastmeds.com. They gave us some complimentary pre-rolls. I'm going to smoke this shit during the show, and I'm going to let you know how I go. But we want to give them a little shout out. Where they at, Mark?
Livernois and Linden. Livernois and Linden Street. That is in between Livernois and Wyoming on Linden Street. That actually is our partner. Let me throw this up there.
Hey,
They
Auntie
give
Doris.
us
Hey,
products
Tracy.
to review on the website every month. You know what I mean? So y'all go check out West Coast Men's. They got some pretty nice flowers over there for you all.
Flowers, I love
For
it.
sure,
partaking
for
too.
sure. Tat,
What's up, baby?
What are we talking about, and who do we have at our pleasure sitting next to you?
Yay! Okay, so not yay on the topic.
Yeah, on the person.
On the person. Okay, our topic tonight is domestic violence. And we definitely gonna get into on both perspectives, both women and men. Our special guest tonight, I love her so much. This is one of my sisters. Thank you so much. Thank God for her. Denise. First, let me give you a little history of Denise and I. We came into each other's lives in a point of each other's lives where we were both trying to come out of some things and make it, reach some goals. And fortunately, we were brought together to do it together. We both saw what each other was going through, knew our stories, and we just clicked. We bonded, and it's crazy because we were in training for kickboxing and things like boot camp and things like that. So we both were taking out everything that we had been through and venting in that way. But it became a sistership that would never be broken. I'm very thankful for her. Please put the camera on her. I just want to tell you before we even get started with your story on domestic violence, even though it wasn't what most of us would think, like, oh, you're being beat on, things like that, and constant things like that, whatever, that I'm going to share. But violence is violence.
It only take one time
One
for it
time.
to be domestic
One
violence.
time. And this sister here, you think you go through some shit out there, y'all. And please, if y'all watching, please, we want you to call in with your stories as well throughout the show. This sister here has a really powerful story, and I'll applaud her for her power of she survived one of the worst things ever.
Tell us about it, Denise.
So hey y'all, hey.
Hey.
Speaking to the
And
mic.
let loose with us.
You need to sit here, lean to your right, not
Thank
your left.
Be
you.
as transparent as you're comfortable being.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank
Just
you guys for having me. I don't speak really loud, so I'll speak as loud
She
as I
don't.
can.
So bring that mic a little closer to your
I'm
mouth.
about to turn it
You
around.
gonna turn around?
Thank you. Yeah, it's just it's crazy to talk about it and reflect. 16 years later, like my daughter is grown now. I have two other children, so yeah, just reflecting. My boys don't know that this ever happened
The
to
younger
me.
boys.
15 and 7, they don't know.
How old is the oldest one?
She's 23.
Okay, so she was present.
Yes.
Okay, so we can talk about the impact on her later. But give us
Yeah.
a synopsis of your story.
Well, to make a long story short, basically just dealing with someone, trying to be in a situation, a fairy tale, be with someone that you love and you want to be with. Ultimately, your goal is marriage. That was our goal, to be married, love one another and, build a family, the foundation. So that was the goal, and that's what I thought that we were working towards. But it ended up getting to the point where it got a little possessive, and I wasn't even aware.
He was possessive.
It was starting to get like, hey, I want your friends to be my friends. You know what I mean? Like, where you go, I want to go. And it's just like, you young. You're like, oh, that's cute. When I met him, I was like 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of happened really fast. I just thought it was one of those things like, okay, this is, somebody giving me the attention, the time,
Prince Charming.
Yeah, that's what I thought, so, yeah, but, fast forward, I started getting to a point like, yeah, but, he proposed, we were engaged, so then I started getting to a point like, wait, I'm about to be a wife, I'm already a mom, that's a big task, like, what do I need to do for me to be the best woman that I can be? So then my focus shifted from being this wife to preparing myself to be that. So it's like, okay, I got to do some work on me. So at that point, I was working. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to school. I've always been like heavily involved in my church. So my church at that time, just doing a lot. My schedule was very hectic, and my only free day was Sunday, so y'all can imagine Sunday I'm exhausted. So I don't really got that much to give at that point. So it got to a point where I just felt like, okay, maybe I just need to separate myself. Maybe we need to just, disconnect for a minute. I feel like
Was
I
he
need
going
to
to
leave.
church with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was going to
So
church.
he was
with
doing
me.
all the right shit.
He was doing family dinners,
Nigga.
cooking. I get off work. It's a nice little meal.
Because I was
I'm
about
like,
to say,
okay.
there go your red flag, girl.
Listen,
that
right? No
wasn't
church,
it,
but he
you
was
know,
going.
he
He was
went to
going to church
church.
with his grandma. He was already going to church before
Okay.
he met me, so
Okay.
it wasn't one of those things
How
like,
the food taste that he made?
the food was good. Grandma
Oh,
taught
okay.
him
Well, I
how
say
to
because that
cook.
would have been red flag. No.
Grandma taught
So
him how
this
to
dude
cook.
had it.
Yeah.
Oh, he checked all the motherfucking boxes.
All of them.
Okay.
All of them.
And then when did the turn?
Once it got to the point where I was saying, I'm going to leave. It was just one of those things like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I think we just need to. But my mom was like, stop telling this man you going to leave him. And if you going to leave,
Just do
Just
it.
do
What was
it.
the reason for leaving if so many things was good about him? What was the problem?
because, like I said, I got to a point where I realized that I needed to do
you
more
was
stuff
investing
for
too
me.
much, investing too much into him.
Because you were super young, so
Yeah.
to commit the rest of your life to someone at that age is probably kind of premature and scary at the same time. Like, damn, I ain't gonna never be with another nigga, never.
But you know what? That wasn't the crazy
No, I'm
part.
just
Was
playing.
that,
That was
was
a
no,
joke.
I get you,
Yeah.
but when you that age, that could be a thought. But my thought was me, like I'm gonna go into this marriage and I just got a job. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like
I'm not ready to be a
I'm
wife.
not in a whole career, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like it's so many other things I want to do. Like I've always been a doer, and I'm doing a lot. So it was just kind of one of those things like it's more stuff I need to do for me.
Did you feel like being with him would hinder you doing the things you needed to do for you?
So here, I'm glad you said that because I ended up doing dental hygienist school.
Okay.
And I had spoke with him about it. Like, I'm already busy. So if I take this on, are you good? Like, you good? Because now this is going to be taking up my Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, I'm good. It's fine. But it was good until it wasn't.
Until
you know what
it
I mean?
was
So it
real.
was like, okay, so now you studying. Like Sunday only day. You come home on Saturday, you studying. Then, Sunday is church. You in church because you're doing this with church. And then, it's kind of one of those things like, okay.
You ain't got enough
So-
time for me. You're not paying me no attention.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't put you in my pocket, my
Yeah.
man. Like, I
Yeah.
have to, and then to me, it was one of those things like, too, like, you don't want your woman to be, her best self.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm just not a confrontational person.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not about to do the back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
the arguing. Now, I did have a mouth on me. I will say that. I was young. But it got to the point where it was just like, I'm not about to talk about this no more. I don't want to keep talking about it. And I think the night when it happened, I was just at my max with being asked, is this what you want to do? Because...
So you felt pushed into a corner to give an answer.
Yeah, that I had already given
Right.
so many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, you're asking me something that I've already told you several times.
And it's
you
okay
know.
to outgrow people, though, too, right?
It is, but here's the crazy thing, though, and I know it sounds crazy, but I never said that I wouldn't come back. I just said
You needed
I
to
needed
focus
some
on you.
time and
Yeah.
focus on myself. Cause like I said, he wasn't a bad guy to me in my eyes. He was a good dude.
But intention and reception
Mm-hmm.
are two entirely different things. Because to a man, if you need a break from him, that's an ego fucking buster, right? That means something I'm not doing right. I'm not giving her something. It's something wrong with me, right?
There's a void.
You know what I'm saying? Something is wrong with me.
crazy.
But you see, with you, it's like I want to focus on
That
me.
wasn't the reason.
But
Right.
he's not looking at you as an individual. He's looking at you as an extension of him. And so, if you need a break from me, then something's wrong with me.
That's so wild.
It's crazy because men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We think differently,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
When did it take the turn to the abuse?
So there wasn't an abusive thing. Like there was no
It wasn't
ongoing
ongoing.
abuse.
Got
There
it.
was no he grabbed my arm this day, he slapped me this day, or
It wasn't like you hit me and I let it go. You
Yeah.
apologized. You felt remorseful. I fell for the bullshit. You hit me again. It escalated. It wasn't a pattern with him.
No.
Okay.
and I think that's why it was so surprising for myself, my family, you know, my daughter, because my daughter was there when it happened. My daughter was in her room. We stayed in a 2-family flat. So, you know, 2-family flats are closed. You
Yeah.
know, everything is in the same
Basically the
space.
same house.
You hear
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, everything.
Yeah.
So, her room was directly across from ours. So my baby was there when this whole thing happened. But there, like I said, there was no ongoing situations. It was just all within that night. And
And that was the night you gave him the answer.
yeah, that I
That-
had already given him
yeah,
so many times
yeah.
before. But that night it was like
Final.
final. I was pissed. I'm like probably every cuss word, probably made some new ones. I was like, I'm over answering this. You know what I mean? Like I definitely had it up to here at this point. Because this is what I'm going to do, which is what my mother told me to stop doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you are going to leave, just go. Don't keep telling him, you know what I mean? But it's like, well, it's hard to not tell him. You want me to lie too, you know what I mean? Because I felt like in my mind, it would have been worse to lie and say, well, no, I'm going to stay. And then you just come home one
But
day
you'd
and
have
I'm
been
gone.
safer.
True.
You'd have been safer.
True.
So in a lot of domestic violence situations, you know, they encourage the women not to make, not to give a heads up. They encourage the women to plan their
Escape.
retreat, right? For their safety. Because if this is a person that you already see that is trying to be controlling, smothering, or whatever, not even allowing you to be who you want to be in life, and you are an extension of him, so you have no individual identity, right? So to him, not in general, but they suggest that you have a safe plan, and that you plan it. You have not only a support system set up for when you do, but also all your documents and identification and everything set in place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's to prevent something spontaneous that happened, like it happened with you. Like you giving a heads up, like, yeah, nigga, I'm leaving you. You probably, like you said, you probably fucked that nigga's whole ego up, right? And I'm not saying that you were wrong for doing so. You're entitled to your truth, right?
Yeah.
But some people can't handle the motherfucking truth. Jack Nicholson told us that,
True.
right? But the safest way to leave is to leave without warning, without alert, without antagonization, and with a plan. Because it keeps you safe.
Yeah.
It keeps you safe. And your situation, from what you've shared, is it was kind of like, so you gonna leave me? Yeah, I'm through with this shit.
Yeah, that night it was, yeah.
That nigga's hard. Every word you said, that nigga was getting more fucked up and more fucked up and more fucked up. Like, God damn, she really gonna leave? Because you ain't left
Yeah.
prior to that.
Yeah.
And it was like, as much as you said it, you ain't done it. But to hear the finality of it, it was like, blink.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why they say, yeah. And your mom was wise in saying, stop telling him, because now he has he can either manipulate you to stay, guilt you into staying, abuse you into staying.
Yeah.
You understand? Control you into staying. But without that warning, he couldn't respond the way he responded with you. So how did that impact your daughter?
Ooh, you
And does
know,
it still impact her as an adult?
So, I definitely had her to go through therapy
Okay.
with it because, shockingly, 3 months later, her biological father passed. He was shot.
Trauma after trauma.
Yeah, he was shot and killed. He passed. So definitely got her a lot of counseling. You know, brief counseling, then dealing, you know, with my situation, and then, you know, this, like I said, this man was an amazing person. Like they had a bond. You know what I mean? So it was like just losing and, you know, dealing with it and her reality. So throughout the the therapy and the counseling and us just having talks, but she was really young. She was just turning. She was turning 7 the next day.
Okay.
So literally, I brought in her birthday in the hospital. So
What if you feel comfortable sharing? What was the physical damage he did to you?
well, he shot me.
Shot you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yep. In the midst of the argument and the, back and forth, and I'm leaving this, that, and the other. Like, we were literally so close to each other. He literally had to step back to draw his gun. He had the gun on him. Yeah, he shot me a few times in my head,
Whoa.
Whoa.
my chest,
Whoa.
my arms, and my stomach.
How many times?
Every bullet, with the exception of the one that he killed himself with.
Oh, he killed himself after
wow.
he shot you?
Wow.
Such a fucking
Coward.
coward.
Man. And then for her daughter to go after that, I didn't even.
And your
realize it
daughter was there?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
And then to lose her dad to gun violence, like shortly after that, like that's wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm a survivor,
Yes.
I ain't gonna give up.
Yeah.
Love it.
Dog, that's you.
Yeah. It was, and
Who survives being shot in the motherfucking head 3 times, bro? Oh my God. God got a
God
plan.
just gave me a chill.
No,
like,
no,
hearing
God-
it is
Yeah, man.
hearing it
God
and living it.
has a plan for your life. Do you do any speaking on this behalf in terms of domestic violence? And if so, tell us a little bit about it.
I do. I actually just did an event called Taking Off Your Mask with my cousin in June. But I also speak to the youth. I spoke with a group of girls in April.
Okay.
So I had y'all about to trip out. I had a nonprofit group, right? Myself and my partner. And then my partner was murdered.
Oh my God.
To
Jesus.
gun violence.
Have mercy.
Like literally two streets around the corner from me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So gun violence is just like, that's why, for me, guns and loud sounds, I'm still uneasy.
That's PTSD.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
You
Shell
have
shock,
yeah.
trauma behind that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So,
Jesus.
it's, living it and speaking about it. I don't think that, it's definitely real. But I think what gets me is when people show their reactions to me, or when I speak and I have like grown men coming up to me like in tears, like no, like that really happened, and things like that. I think that's when it really hits me. Like,
That's
damn,
heavy.
you really went through that.
Like you survive. You a survivor, bro. You're not a victim. You didn't endure. You survived that shit. I mean, to the maximum, bro.
That's
For
the
real.
epitome of surviving.
Definitely
So-
blessed.
So I
Definitely blessed.
have a question, and I kind of didn't want to ask it, but was there any point when this happened that you, and this is for everybody out there, was there ever a time where you thought you brought this on yourself or your fault, or was there even anybody that was saying that it was your fault? Like, did you have did his family say it was your
Man.
for those? And I didn't want to bring it up, but
it's a real
it's a real
question.
question.
That's a reality. of
It
is
is a
a
real
reality.
question because, for one, there's an element of self blame when it comes to women that are abused or victimized like that, and there's also an element of stigmatization, right?
Exactly, and I was looking
And
at that when I
judgment.
was viewing the
So
topic. So
it's
I,
a fair question.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be. You don't want to ask it, but it has
You
for
ain't
to
wanna come
inform.
off insensitive.
Exactly.
No, you're fine. So here's the thing with me. I'm a very open book. All questions are welcome because I have learned to get through this. I have to be honest with myself and I have to be open because I don't know who I can help, you know what I mean, or reach through telling this.
Right.
I never felt like it was my fault. But what I will say is, when dealing with it, because I was uprooted, like this was my home. I had to leave. You know what I mean? Not know where my things were. You know what I mean? It was a lot. And to add insult onto injury, his family lived directly across the street from us.
Wow.
His aunt is actually the one who took me to the hospital.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, who was it your daughter that called 911? Who found you in that condition to...
Well, so after I was shot, you can imagine it's blood because I done got shot in my head.
Yeah.
So I literally came to consciousness in a dirty clothes hamper. I was like in my closet. By the time it was over, he was standing in front of our bed, and I just remember him saying, "Man, fuck it." Took the gun, put it to his left temple, blew his brains out. His brains went that way. He went to the back. And I'm just like, damn, am I alive? You know what I mean? Like, I'm really having
like,
a
am I
moment.
dreaming?
Like, it's
Yeah.
really
You
happening. You
gained
know what I mean?
consciousness just in time to
Just in
witness
time
him
to
commit
see that.
suicide.
And I feel
Jesus.
like that was to kind of give me, I don't want to say closure, but, you know, because even seeing that and reliving that,
Yeah,
you know,
that's trauma
it's-
on top of trauma.
Yeah.
So honestly, y'all, I was just kind of freaking out, like, what is going on? But I had to remember, you know, who I was and who I belonged to in that moment.
Say
And I
that.
just had to, you know, like, start praying. Like, I literally started saying the Lord's Prayer because I'm like, where's my daughter? How long have I been unconscious? Is my baby alive? Like, what did this Negro do at this point? Because, you know, that was very unexpected to me. You know, I didn't even want to come in the house that night. He was supposed to just send my daughter down to the car so I could take her to go get her hair braided. You know what I mean? So I wasn't even supposed to be inside. So, yeah, but God gave me enough strength to get myself up. I get to the door. The way he had the door, we could go out, but nobody could come in. So, I'm literally like, okay, you know, y'all can imagine my stomach is damn near open. I'm bleeding, and I'm like, okay, trying to get some strength to get this door open because, you know, being a mom, you could get hit by a bus.
You gonna
if
find
you don't know
an
where your baby
inordinate-
is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You going to find your child. If that was my last breath, finding her, you know what I mean, to see what condition she's in. Is she okay? Is she alive? Is she well? That was my main priority. So when I finally got to her room, I'm looking around. I don't see my baby, y'all. I'm like, damn, like, where's my baby? Like, I know she wouldn't just, you know, leave me, but I'm like, again, I don't know how long I've been unconscious, so I don't know what the hell has happened. But I hear crying. She's in the closet when I find her with her hands over her ears, just crying. And I'm like, damn, I don't know what I look like. I have no idea. Like, I'm about to just mess my baby up. But she got to help me get out of here. You know what I mean? She's screaming. She crying. I'm like, I just need you to calm down. I need you to get mommy out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I know you scared, but we got to get out of here. She pulls herself together as best she can. Mind y'all, she's 6.
7. Yeah, 6 or 7.
She's 6 years old. She pulls herself together. She helps me to the door. We lived upstairs in the family flat.
So y'all had to go up a flight.
It's winter, y'all.
Jesus.
It's winter. We have to go down the flight. Get to the door, though. All the doors bolt locked. Every door is so I can't. You know how you coming in and out the house? You just flick that little. You know, I'm
you
going
ain't
in
got
now
that
till
kind of
nighttime.
strength
to do it.
Yeah, you know, till nighttime you just flicking a little. But it's not just a flick. The bolt locks were just locked with the key. So I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, I really need to get out of here. You know, I'm weak as hell. I'm trying to be strong for my daughter to not scare her or, you know, mess her up more than what she is at this point. And I'm like, baby, you gotta find the keys. She like, okay, you know, but she's really strong. Like, one thing I admire about my daughter, she was so strong in that moment. You know, she wasn't like the average kid. I feel like would have been like, Mama,
Broken.
you on your own. You know what I mean? Like, I
Wouldn't know
can't
what to do
do
in that
this.
moment.
Yeah, like, I don't know
Yeah.
how to do this, how to
Yeah.
maneuver or navigate through
Especially
this
with them
situation. This
emotions
shit
at
is
that
crazy.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
But the
Yeah.
fact
Screaming
that
and
you
crying.
were able to have the composure that you were able to have, despite
There you go.
what was going on, that's what gave her the calm.
There you go.
Because if you came to her in a panic,
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, pat yourself on the back for
There
that.
you
You demonstrated what she needed to do. You didn't panic. You kept your cool. You tried to communicate as best you could under those circumstances, and she matched your energy.
She did.
So, like mother, like daughter, like daughter, like mother. You know,
That's right.
Yeah, but she
that's heavy.
really strong, y'all. That she was really strong in that moment. She did find those keys. She got the door unlocked. We got down the stairs. Let me tell y'all something. When I think about this, it's like, how? You know what I mean? Like, the
Surreal when you think about the
strength.
details.
When I really think about it in detail, from getting up to see, and it was just like I didn't have time to think
You
or
got a minimum
overthink.
of 5 bullet wounds.
It's like I don't have time to overthink this. You know what I mean? Like, it's an end game. I need help. You know, and I need for my daughter to help me.
And you
through
needed to
this.
be here for your daughter
Yeah.
and your sons.
That was
You know,
my main goal.
man.
That's right.
But she did get us out the house though, y'all. She got us out the house.
What's her name? We gonna shout her. Let's shout her
My
out.
baby.
Diara.
Tiara.
baby.
Hey, if you watching, baby girl,
I was like, that's
grown woman.
Yeah.
Hey, you a hero.
She definitely.
You a hero.
She
Get it from her
is.
mama.
My baby
Pat
is a
yourself on the
hero.
back.
That's right.
So let me ask you this as well, because I don't want to be the one that's asking the thought-provoking questions or anything.
No,
like
Why
you're
not?
fine. You're fine.
So and for those that's and I would like you to talk to especially those out there that either are going through this or have went through this. And I remember DMAC was talking about PTSD. So what is it now for you in your life to where do you have any flashbacks? Is there anything? Is it where are you even able to date now? Is it where you have it in the thought of your mind like if I date this person will it be the same situation?
Trust
I have the last-
issues.
Trust issues. That's what I'm looking for.
Can you form trusting relationships? Do you have the capacity? Because you said this dude was Prince Charming, right? He checked every box, right?
cooked
So
like
it's kind
grandma,
of like
right?
now, like
Yeah,
nigga, you,
like grandma.
even if you come checking every box, nigga, I got a question.
Man.
You know what
A
I mean?
lot of questions, and I've been inquisitive my whole life, so y'all can imagine what this is
It's
like
even
now.
more.
That just goes to show you, like, that just goes to show you got to get to know people in all of their
Let me
different
see your
elements.
identification.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Bump
Not
that.
just
I
your
need to
ID.
run your social security number. I need to go through.
Yes.
Listen, you sound like me when I'm a repo agent. I need to put in all your
Yes.
information.
Check medical records.
If I see a half a red flag, I'm
Yes.
done.
But domestic violence does that, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
reduces your ability to believe in humanity.
Yes.
It reduces your ability to have the capacity to trust in another
Yes.
human,
Yes.
especially if you felt like you've been hoodwinked.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. It honestly, I think that more so now in this stage of my life, it's more awareness or more the private detective person now than it was after it happened. Because my mindset was still that 23-year-old young woman. You know, so for me, it was kind of still like I love everybody. I'm gonna give people a chance. You know, I was distant for some time, but my thing was trying not to let it break me. I
You
was
wanted to maintain your
so-
normalcy.
I did.
Yeah.
I was so
That gives you a sense of control and
Yeah.
power.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I was so at the point where I just wanted to just be a normal human being, you know, to the point where I didn't want to end up being bitter or hateful or, you know, I hate black men or, you know what I mean? Like, because in my mind, everyone is different. So I didn't go back into the dating world thinking like, oh, this man is going to shoot me. You know what I mean? Or if I don't like him, he's going to come after me. So I don't think that I really went through a stage of where I was just like, I'm not going to ever trust anybody. You know, I was aware. I was, you know, very cognizant of my actions and the things that I
Still
did
didn't let it
while
damage
picking.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be damaged.
Because
That was my
if
main
you
thing.
allow it to adjust you completely, then it has control.
Yeah.
It won.
It
does.
Exactly.
It will.
Yeah.
So do you
Dude.
think? So let me, and then this is my last follow-up question. So looking, and I can, everybody can chime in on this as well, but you don't look like what you've been through. So do you think it was?
There's no look to domestic
No,
violence.
I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about she got at least 5 bullet wounds, and I could, and when you walked in
Sorry,
here,
guys.
I don't see a single scar, or maybe, like I said, I don't see a single scar because you said you also got shot in the head, correct? And I mean, can you tell if she was shot anywhere or not, D-Mac or Mike? Or
So let me say this. Most people that have head injuries are very strategic about covering them up with their hairdos.
Yeah.
okay,
So whether I wouldn't know one way or the other because she is a master of concealing.
okay.
Yeah. Thanks for covering mine up.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she has a wound, a surgical wound in her head, so we
whole face
conceal
was
it with the
reconstructed.
designs that we put in her hair.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this then: since you're able to conceal it, or we're not able to see, did it make the healing process a little bit? I wouldn't say easier, but more manageable because you could cover up what you or conceal what you went through.
Well, let me say this. I am really open about it. I don't strategically, honestly, cover my wounds. I honestly just had a so-and-so at work, like, come for me about one of my spots in my head. And, you know,
Oh wow!
I was just like, you know, I don't think that I go off about it. You know, I'm very delicate, and I think because if I become what I've went through, I would be a mess, y'all. You know what I mean? If I start giving off that type of energy, it would be something to, you know, something for me to live in that I don't want to do. You know, I do want to remain delicate and gentle. You know what I mean? I don't,
Because everybody does not, and so, you know, we like to think that we go through traumas and we go through what we go through, and we would like to think that humanity understands and is compassionate and empathetic. Everybody don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
no.
And that's just the truth.
That's
And
true.
so sometimes, you know, people say insensitive things and you have to almost dismiss it to their ignorance
Yeah.
and not take it personal because they don't really know what the fuck they talking about.
Now, did they know that you had been through a situation, or what? It didn't matter to them, or
No, the two individuals that have said something to me, in work environments, they didn't know, what happened. I just feel like it was just, you know, people just being,
Stupid and ignorant.
Yeah,
Finding
you know
a
what I
reason
mean?
to elevate
Yeah.
themselves by putting somebody else down.
yeah, you know.
oh,
and
that
it's
sounds like I
just
showed last week.
and it was just, you know,
Yeah.
so for me, going back to what you asked, I never try to conceal it. I just look at it as blessings, you know, like, one is like right in the front of my head, like literally right here.
It's still lodged?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
So the blessing in me being shot, none of the bullets.
It was through and through?
Yes,
Good.
all of them.
And they clearly missed all the vital
Thank
Or-
God.
They do.
You
I've
know
seen
what
all
I'm
her
saying?
wounds.
Yeah.
Like God is amazing, right? God
She's
is
seen them all.
truly
Oh,
amazing. Like
Yeah.
he allowed you to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he allowed you to see his glory at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
My Lord.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people are like, why we gotta lie? Sometimes I just don't think he allows evil necessarily,
Yeah.
but he allows his glory to be shown in it.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is one of those times when he's like, okay, yeah, one of my people, one of my children, one of my servants, yeah, I allowed that to happen because just like he did with Job, right? He knew if I take everything from him,
Come
he's
on
still
now.
not gonna leave me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He knew you were his.
Yeah.
You didn't give up hope. You fought. You kept your calm. You guided your daughter. He knew you had the capacity to do that. But it wasn't that he wanted to do it to you. He wanted to show his glory to everybody else. Like she can get shot 3 times in the head.
Yeah.
She can get shot 5 times. She can still come to and be coherent enough to guide her daughter to save her fucking life. That's his glory. That ain't human glory.
Nothing to do with me.
And that's real talk.
Nothing to do with me. And that's why I'm so open about it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just really like a walking billboard as it relates to my wounds, or I wasn't one of those people like, well, I'm not gonna wear this.
Yeah.
Because one of my wounds is on my chest.
Okay.
So I wasn't like, I'm wearing long sleeve my
Yeah.
whole life.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. Or
As tragic as it is, it's almost like you become proud of being that way too.
you do,
So-
because when you think about how good God is, and my daughter's father 3 months later being shot from one shot, you think about that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it doesn't, you don't think about it in the sense of I'm invincible.
Oh no.
But he had to have grace
Yeah. Yeah.
and mercy on my life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Purpose.
for real. A
Definitely.
purpose. Absolutely a purpose. Like, your purpose is even beyond this table.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This story probably just getting out to people is just going to probably create a platform for you.
I would say
But
that.
for me, I want to say this. This goes to show that it does not have to be a continual, prolonged
Pattern
beating
of-
or pattern, or
10,
you
12
develop all this
years,
cycle of
yeah.
abuse where it's, I beat you, I'm sorry, I'm back, okay, I beat you again, even worse, I'm so sorry again. The whole cycle of abuse, right? But this goes to show you that I would like to believe, right, that if he didn't stand there and kill himself, that you would not have remained in this situation after that. I would love to believe that. You understand what I'm saying? But there are some women that had he survived,
Yeah.
and that mentality, people are like, well, how is it that you can stay with a motherfucker like that? How is it that you can keep going back to a nigga like
So
that?
do y'all
How is
recall-
it that this nigga can keep beating your ass and you can keep making excuses for him, right? And what that is called battered women's syndrome. It's people like to judge
Yeah.
a woman for staying, right?
Yeah.
They like to judge a woman for you keep minimizing, or you keep making excuses, or you keep blaming yourself. Like, if I really wouldn't have made him so mad, then he wouldn't have done that, this or
Stockholm
that,
syndrome.
right? You said what now?
Stockholm
That's not
syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
It's not
Stockholm
identifying
syn-
with your abuse.
No, Stockholm syndrome is when you identify, but you also have compassion and empathy and sympathy and love for your abuser. Battered women's syndrome, they don't have love
Well,
for their
I guess
abusers.
that was the example I was about to bring up. Do y'all recall it was a situation?
Let me
Okay,
finish
go
this
ahead,
battered
go ahead.
women's syndrome. So battered women's syndrome is not a mental disorder as if it's like schizophrenia or something on the DSM-5, but it is on what's called the ICD-9, which is an international statistical classification for disease and related health problems. And this is a syndrome that is as a result of prolonged abuse. Like, you didn't even have an option to stay or leave because he took that option from
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
But there are a class of women that stay, but they don't stay just because they want to. It's a gradual debilitation of their worth. It's a gradual pounding of their self-esteem.
Evaluation.
It's an isolation from their friends and their family to where they don't have a support system to lean on anymore. And then if you go to these people and then you go back, then a lot of those people don't want to hear that shit no more.
Yeah.
So now you're really isolated, and it's really a tactic of the abuser.
Oh yeah.
So, D-Mac, can I ask you a question about what you're just elaborating on? So, do you feel one of those with that is where maybe the person is staying because of the kids? If it's involved in that, would that be with that, or would that be something totally different?
I think that's another level. I mean, I think it's a sub level to what battered women syndrome is, because they're not staying or leaving for the kids. They're staying because they've been broken down to a point where they don't feel empowered enough to leave. They don't feel confident enough to leave. They don't feel safe enough to leave. They're afraid to leave.
And that is true. But that is not also just for, and that's why I want to come in, it's not just for ladies as well. Because I know a lot of times we say battered women syndrome, but I think what's not shined on the part is men as well. When you gave me this topic, and like I said, I love y'all because every time y'all give me something I'm not aware of, I like to do research.
No, I know.
So there was this guy named Thomas Blackwell. He's real quick. I'll just take 1 minute. He has a son named Charles. He's FaceTime with Charles. He's asking about the kids. Charles said he couldn't leave the kids because he was going through abuse himself.
Right.
That was when the phone shut off. That was the last time Thomas talked to his son Charles. The next time he heard about him, he stabbed to death by the mother of his child.
Right.
And Charles actually, they had 2 kids together. And then he was also taking care of her 1 kid from the previous relationship. And real quick, I think the thing is, I understand a lot of the time it's always women, and I always know that.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is sometimes, unfortunately, we forget about the men because the men feel the same to same it. So, real quick, I just want to say for anybody, male or female, go to a friend, go get help. This we want and I will talk. And for my final thought, I just want to do like the resources, and this show is for you to, as you can see with Denise, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Even if it's that one instant, even if it's, as D-Mac said, multiple times that you're going through it. This show, I just want to be dedicated to those that we can be a voice, and Denise especially can be a voice.
Parties. Yes.
That you don't have to keep going through this.
Please don't. And my thing is, I listening to both what Mark just brought up and also with D-Mac. I think so. I also want to get to Mike as well because he also has an amazing story to share as well. Real quick with myself, I'm gonna share my experience, my story, and that's why I love my sister, because we both get out here and we do empowerment events, and because our story is not for us. Mine is a whole lot different because she was actually trying to leave. She felt like she didn't need to stay. It was still not a bad situation. I actually felt like I was supposed to stay in a domestic violence relationship. It ended up being in my marriage. And like D-Mac was saying, what you were trying to say, in that aspect, is when you have love for the person, you love that person, and you're trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, like, oh no, what is it that I'm doing, or this and that, whatever. And it was even, I was in the hospital before myself, and I couldn't hide, you know what I'm saying, my bruises or, you know what I'm saying, anything either. I can't imagine being shot in the head. And when I saw my sister's scars, I cried the first time she showed me all of her wounds, all her bullet wounds. I cried like, what the? I'm like, well, I got punched in my face. You know what I'm saying? She's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling her, and she's feeling bad about what I'm sharing to her about me. And she's like, well, why? And why are you staying? And things like that. And I'm just like, well, you know, he suffered from this and that and things like that, whatever. And I was making excuses. A lot of stuff I hid at first, I didn't go to anyone. You know what I'm saying? I do have people that will back me up. They will off you in the blink of an eye, you know. And I was just like, no, I got myself in it. This is a person that I love. I said my vows. I'm supposed to see them through everything, you know. I got to see them through their mental illness. Let me seek help, you know.
You really believed in that in good times and bad times.
I did.
I mean,
For better
I
or
get
for
it.
worse,
For
though.
better or for
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. I
did.
get that. But when my safety is
Is
involved,
involved. Yeah,
And
it's
so-
compromised.
you know what I'm
It remind
saying?
me, like I said, it's a similar situation, but complete opposite of hers, or maybe more similar to
Yeah.
yours since you bring it up. But
Yeah.
it was a viral story on social media where a woman was abused by her boyfriend or husband, something like that, and he shot her and like blew her ear off, right? Almost killed her,
Right.
and then killed himself. And then
Right.
she went to his funeral sobbing and feeling bad about, and was blaming herself for it. You know what I mean? So that's like that was more so the Stockholm syndrome. That was
It
that
was
you know what I mean?
because in turn, when I finally years after years,
Stockholm
because
syndrome, battered woman
it's no
syndrome, two
secret
entire-
that
Yeah,
that me
yeah.
and my husband is separated. We're separated for years now. You know what I'm saying? And so I still am very supportive. Anything major comes up with him, things like that. But it had got to a point after so many years of what things I had dealt with, and I felt like I had to deal with being his wife. I snapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is really real. I snapped and I thought I killed my husband. And 2 days later he moved away. But I
Say, fuck up out of here.
I did. You know, it's,
Like 2 days later, he was out of here.
yeah,
That
he
nigga
did.
did wave
And
like
he-
shit.
And if he was
you went
able
back
to
to
call
sleep.
in right now, he would. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he know, because he even admitted, he said, I knew. He said, I laid there. I was smart enough to lay there, you know what I'm saying, and play like, you know what I'm saying, I was dead, you know what I'm saying. He said, because I said to myself, like, she gonna finish me off. Like, I watched Court TV, and like, and after that, like, I have trauma. I have my trauma. Like, certain things I see, it will bring me back to those moments to where things happen. I look at myself sometimes, and I'm like, oh wow, shit happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can't see, you know what I'm saying, your and I guess it's on the inside, your bruising on the inside. You know, I look in the mirror sometimes and be like, damn, I went through those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at me and be like, oh, I bet you just it just be all so easy for you if people just treat you like this and that. No, I've been through it fucking all. You understand? I'm thankful for my God for the things that I've been through, that the strength that He gave me, that my God gave me, and that I'm able to give to other people. You know, yes, I agree totally with David. I agree with Dave all day. Please tell somebody.
Yeah.
Please, you know what I'm saying, have your strength about yourself. Pick up one good canned good or something that's in that cover and stuff and bust their motherfucking head if you have to. You understand? Do not stick around.
Like Medea played grit ball.
Thank God my sister was strong enough. He had a purpose for her, and those bullets, several bullets, did not take her out. That's not to say the same for you. You understand what I'm saying? When they show you once, you better believe that shit and get the fuck on. You understand? You are worth way much more. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. It's not fucking cute. Well, y'all out there sitting there, men or women, let somebody put their hands on you, stab you, and all that stuff. That shit is not cute. Somebody coming up, nutting up, and all that. Oh, they just nut up. You know what I'm saying? And the songs I hear about somebody being toxic and shit. Fuck, toxic is not good. It's exactly what it is. Leave it alone. I want to get to Mike. Mike has something to share real fast. And speaking
I
of,
thought I was gonna take up the time.
no,
so you have to
I
say
got
it.
you, baby. We want to hear this because men need to speak up as well.
Yeah.
A lot of men do not speak up, and why?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, why men don't speak up sometimes is because one, you think you're gonna be humiliated, especially if you probably tell your boys or you go to the police station, anything like that. But I want men to know that it's 1/3 domestic violence victims, and men we are 757,000 of them. Women, you guys got us beat 1.6, but it's 757,000 of us men that don't speak up, that get
believe
domestic abuse.
I believe
and we need to speak up, whether it's to a close personal friend. You go report it. Don't be afraid of the ridicule, because that could lead to you not being here anymore.
And so, did you yourself ever experience some form of domestic violence, or did you think you have and may have, like you said, did you feel like you'll be humiliated or things like that? Did you go through that yourself?
I did. So in a land far, far away, long time ago. Okay.
He said, long time ago, I'll slap a bitch today.
Land far, far away.
Far.
Okay.
Far.
I was very young. I was raised by a lot of women, so I was always raised never hit a woman.
Right.
Like
right.
no matter
Just
no
walk
matter
away.
what she doing, don't hit her.
Right.
Especially when you angry, don't hit her.
Right.
So me and this, we'll just call her a lady.
Okay.
Me and this lady used to stay together, and I don't know if I pushed her to the brink. We were young, so I don't know if just the things I did made her that angry. I guess.
Okay.
But she used to like to, like to put her hands on me. And I never hit back. So it wasn't that I was just like, oh, please hit me. I was just like, I know you making me mad because you hitting me one. If I hit you, I may hurt you.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. My mom stayed across the street. My mom stayed right across the street. So when she would do her little violence, I would just go over to my mom's house. That's how I just decompress. Go to my mom's house. My mom would like, cause she left marks. She liked to let people know, like, yeah, you gonna show these. My mom would be like, did that girl hit you? That girl scratch you? That girl do that? And I'd be like, nah, I blame it on work. If my boys saw me, I blame it on something at work.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I mean, you didn't hit her, did you? I'm like, no, I came over here. She's like, well, you did the right thing, but she's like, you have to show some type of strength so she knows she can't
Right.
do you like that
Yeah.
all the time. And I'm like, well, you the one that raised me not to hit women, so this your fault. But it did take me, one time to just show her, like, this is not what it's going to be. But I don't feel like I was a victim. I just let it happen, though. I ain't going to say I was a victim, but I just let it happen, and I didn't tell anybody.
Right.
And and now that I do, like, I talk to a therapist every Saturday.
Yeah.
I got mama issues, so I got to talk to my therapist.
Okay.
But
okay.
I feel like if I would have talked to somebody way before or reported it before, it probably wouldn't have even got to that point to where it got. Cause like some people pull out guns, whatever. We both pulled out knives. She pulled out, and my daughter was my daughter was little. She pulled out a knife. I was at that point. I grabbed the knife.
Ooh.
She said, "Oh, you gonna stab me?" I said, "Well, you grab the knife first." Oh, in front of the baby. I said, "Well, she gonna be parentless tonight." Because if she would have stabbed me, I would have stabbed back. You're not going to stab me now. Like, scratching hands, that's okay. I can get over that.
Right.
You're not going to pull a weapon, use it on me, and that's just going to be it. Like, no.
Yeah.
So
But-
your reason for not telling anybody other than your mom who saw it, you didn't even have to tell her. She
Yeah.
saw it, right?
Mama saw it, but
Mamas
like-
know, right?
Like, my boys,
Yeah.
they,
But your
Yeah.
reasoning for keeping it low key and not doing what most women do, call the police, right? Was because of embarrassment and shame.
yeah. My boys came over every day. My boys used to come over all the time. So,
Did they ever witness her treat you that way?
no, that's the thing. She was cool when they was there. They leave, then we get into it. So they would see the marks or whatever, but I never would tell them, like,
And they couldn't place it where
No,
the marks
'cause I'm
made
a
with
bar-
her.
no,
I'm
they just
barber.
never. They probably never said nothing. They probably thought like, oh, they didn't got into it,
Yeah.
but they never said nothing. But I wasn't gonna be like, yeah, because they gonna be like, really, you let her do that to you?
Right. I know. I don't.
So yeah, it was
I'm a
like I didn't
barber.
want to be humiliated, laughed
So
at.
you seen some shit, too.
No, I done had
ridiculed.
clients come in and I see the scratches and shit, and I'm like, nigga.
Yeah.
What's
Like,
that?
that's
Was you
not
playing
some
basketball?
fucking-
He's like, no, my
Alright.
girl jumped on me. I'm like,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm glad I'm a girl, because bitch jump on me, I'm jumping on you back. I'm a bitch too.
Okay. Okay.
Stop playing with me.
No.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because ain't nobody about to jump on me first
That's
of
right.
all.
But to add on,
I wish y'all would come for my BFF.
but to
I
add
don't need
on
no
to what Mike said also, of the guys that actually call in
Yeah.
when they go through domestic, and to feed off what Mike said about the embarrassment,
Yeah.
64% of those cases, if it wasn't an anonymous call,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have reported at all.
And that's sad though, because these women have gotten more and more violent. Like we can
Yes,
talk about
they
the men
have.
all day.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this generation coming up.
Yeah.
These girls are roof
I blame
motherfucking
Sexy
less,
Red.
right?
Yes.
And I don't blame Sexy Red. I blame their environment. I blame social media. I blame their pressures, whatever these teenagers are facing, and is way more than we ever had to contend with. But
Sexy Red is just one representative out of many. She's not the flagship.
and she ain't influencing all.
I still
So
wanna
some
blame
of them are
Sexy
still
Red.
influenced by something else.
Yeah.
But these girls, man, like
They
we're
are.
raising a generation of abusers.
Yeah.
We're raising a generation of violent women. And I don't know if it's in response to women just being tired of being victimized.
Some of them.
But then when we go from one extreme to the next, is that healthy or do we find a balance?
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we go from being the victim to being the abuser, but there's somewhere in betwixt. There's some happy medium there to where we become the communicator and the problem solver.
I think we allow it. But if it's a man or a woman sometimes, like if it's where you keep going back, if I'm keep going back, you're not changing nothing. Just like we said with standards.
Right.
If you put out a
People go
standard
back
and you
for
don't
different
hold
reasons,
it,
though.
that's a suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
You
also
have to
think
understand that, especially when there's the male perpetrator and female victim. A lot of these women are not in a position to just leave. So people are like, why don't you just leave?
I've heard
First
that
of
a
all,
lot.
she has been isolated. She has had to come off her job. She depends on this man financially.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? She really doesn't have the resources, nor the support, nor anything else to facilitate her leaving. And so when people say, well, why don't you just leave? It sounds so simple and
Simple,
so
but it's so
casual.
simple, it does.
But then there's a process, and that's why they say plan this shit out strategically.
Right.
Because you can't just leave.
Right.
Because you're dealing with something maniacal.
Right.
You're dealing with something that can trip at the flip of a switch.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that it was the first and last time in your case. But in some of these women's cases,
Exactly.
these niggas flip at the switch every day.
Exactly. And I thought of the Medea movie, the one where the husband dies at the end, the one where he had, I guess he was in a hotel room and to the Viagra. If you look at that, she goes through the story of saying she tried to leave him,
Right.
and she went to work as a secretary, but then she was leaving her kids with family members that she wasn't secure about, and she had to end up going back to him because he came and he knew he had the power.
But-
So I agree with you that. So I just want to say this real quick. Also, we say if anybody's going through that, but if there are those out there that see a person going through it,
Right.
if you're going to say that just leave, you need to be that person that's also there for them as well.
Giving them resources
Exactly.
to leave. Don't just say just leave.
Exactly.
Tell me how, nigga.
Help me out.
Give me the
Tell-
A to the B to the Z.
Let me know.
Because
Come to my house.
you
Stay
have
for a
some
minute. We
people-
gonna figure this out together.
So you have
Not
some
just
people that'll do
do
that
it.
and use that as far as like, oh, you should just leave whatever stuff, and they use that also to like judge you or also like, you know what I'm saying, like they point a finger down at you. Like was saying, and I totally agree. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, sometimes stay for different reasons, one or another. I was getting tired of, yes, I know some people are coming from because they were probably pro me and things like that, whatever. Oh, you have to go ahead and leave, things like that. But I was also getting it from people that I knew their situations and knew the shit that they had been through, and I was there and saw it, and it's like, how dare you tell me, you know what I'm saying? But I was watching you. You know what I'm saying? I grew up watching you. I saw that y'all still stuck with these people or things like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought I also been a strong woman and endure it, you know what I'm saying, go through it too, you know, whatever and stuff. And that's what women do. You know what I'm saying? Especially in their marriages, you know. But
And we have to be careful,
We have-
even
yeah.
with the next generation, what we're communicating to them.
Exactly.
Because that's very key. Because those before us, it was truly till death do us part.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck what it was.
yes.
It was frowned upon to
Yeah.
get a divorce.
To get a divorce.
Today it's over 52%, over more than half of marriages end in divorce.
Yeah.
It's an option now.
It's on TV.
You
all
understand
day,
what I'm
every
saying?
day.
So we're living in a different time. But even as we're living in a time, the time that's behind us, that coming behind us, is even in a different time.
Yes.
And so we have to be careful in this generation what we're communicating to them. Is this shit okay?
Right.
And how long are we going to endure it?
Right.
And what are we communicating to them by continuing to put up with the fuck shit?
Exactly.
So when you notice that, ladies, this is my final thought. We got to go around the table. We're rounding up on time. My final thought, ladies, men, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're the victim, do what you need to do to be safe.
Yep.
Get the fuck out in the safest way possible. Don't allow yourself to be isolated because it removes yourself from any sense of support or community support or resources. And just, I don't know, get out the best and safest way you can.
That's right.
And don't let people just tell you, oh, girl, just come over here. No, he'll kill both of y'all.
Yep.
You have to have a plan.
Yep.
It's called a safe plan for a reason.
Yep.
Be strategic. Rehearse that motherfucker in your head a few times before you do it so you don't slip up.
Yeah.
But men or women,
Yeah.
men, quit being ashamed of that shit. These women violent than a motherfucker out here right now.
Yep.
They will kill you. Nigga, they'll set you up to be killed, my boy. So don't y'all be afraid to speak up. I don't give a fuck what your boys say about you. Nigga, this your life.
Yeah.
They ain't going to the grave with you.
Yeah.
Be accountable for self.
All right.
What's your final thought, Tap?
My final thought is to both men and women that are actually the abuser, because it's not right on either party. Hopefully you just stop making everybody else miserable. Whatever you're going, whatever you're dealing with, or whatever spirits you need cleared out of you, whatever it is, seek help. And if you can't do that, feel like you're just gonna keep on beating on people and being violent to people and doing what you're doing, do it. And what old boy did to my sis over here, like he went ahead and just took himself out. He should have did before he did that to my sister. Take yourself out. Just remove yourself. Seriously, you don't belong on this planet. Whatever. Just pack up and just go. Take yourself out. Whatever. So stop hurting people. Please stop hurting one another. All right?
What's your final thought, Mike?
If somebody angers you that bad to where you got to put your hands on them, man or a woman,
Yeah.
maybe that ain't the person for you. Maybe that ain't the relationship for you. And that's my final thought.
That's right.
David.
Okay, real quick. Sometimes we need to do preventive measures. So this is to all my couples out there. If you're going through domestic situations or not, get counseling.
Yeah.
Make sure that when you're in this relationship, if it's not for you, walk away.
Yeah.
Also, 800-799-7233. That is the National Domestic Hotline. If you are, I'm talking to everybody out there, if you are going through it, or if you know somebody that is going through it, please reach out. There's also resources for you in the local Detroit area. Hiatus House, First Step Domestic and Sexual Violence, Avalon Healing Center, Samaritas House Hotline, Turning Point, First Step Domestic and Sexual Violence, Sarah's House Place, YMCA Metropolitan Detroit. If you don't feel like reaching out to us, reach out to DMAC, reach out to Tat, reach out to Mac, reach out to me, reach out to Denise. We are here for y'all. If we message us, hit us up on Facebook, wherever. If you just want to have an all conversation, we're here for you to talk about this. And that's my final thought.
And Denise, we're going to close out on your final thought. What do you have to say to the young ladies, older ladies out here that may be seeing the signs and ignoring the signs, making excuses for the signs? Talk to them before we go.
Just be strong. Typically, when you have a thought or a feeling, it's valid. Don't ignore the signs. Do not confuse possession with a great deal of like. Or someone really loving you or wanting to be with you, or Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect. You know what I mean? Especially the younger generation. We see them and they're FaceTiming all day. The girls are calling the boys all day, and things like that. Just to come into yourself first. Is I believe if I would have been, rooted enough within myself, I probably would not have been in that situation. And it's like I got the light bulb after, you know what I mean? Which led to so much more than what I ever envisioned or imagined. So just work on you. Us young ladies are told so often this whole fairy tale and, get married, have a family. You know what I mean? It's not often that we're saying work on yourself.
Is it a pressure for that?
Well,
Because I don't have no pressure to be right. But y'all might.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
yes,
is. Yes, it is.
yes.
It's a pressure
Yeah.
to get married, do all that.
Yes,
But, oh, okay. I
You
know.
know, so, just work on you and be your best self first. The rest will come. And just be firm in that.
Yeah.
Not firm in that. We
Yeah.
say that, but be firm in that. Do what's best for you. Get your education. Go to school. And just be a great you. Everything else will come.
That's right.
And we out this motherfucker.
And we
Good
out.
evening.
Thank you.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.